Joining us now, Max Booth, Senior Fellow for National Security Studies at the Council on Foreign Relations and a former foreign policy advisor for the McCain, Romney, and Rubio presidential campaigns. And Max, tonight in the New York Times, we have former Republican Senator Tom Coburn quoted as saying, "We have a leader who has a personality disorder." That is the kind of thing, along with what Bob Corker and Jeff Flake has been saying, that the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, firmly believes should be kept private. If you think the president is unfit to serve as a Republican, you should never say that publicly in the interest of party unity. Paul Ryan actually said that publicly.
Yeah, I mean, this is, the intellectual and moral bankruptcy of a once great party, and it keeps getting worse and worse. I mean, the mantra you hear from people like Paul Ryan is, say nothing about the behavior of the naked emperor in the White House, pretend everything is normal because we're going to get this wonderful policy agenda through, the very same agenda, which is not actually being enacted and yet is always an excuse not to say anything. I mean, this dereliction of duty on the part of our elected representatives is truly shocking, and it's why I am very glad that I quit the Republican Party after more than 30 years, because I just can't stand to be a party to this. And you see that people like Flake, Corker, McCain, and others cannot stand to be a party to it either. But unfortunately, most of the party seems to be happy to go along with it.
Did you see this coming? I have to say, I did not know that Paul Ryan could be this compliant with a character like Donald Trump.
I didn't see it coming. I mean, you remember last summer he made a big show of hesitation before embracing Trump. But you saw the same thing. Everybody, Rubio, Ted Cruz, everybody else who called Donald Trump every name under the sun and said he was unfit to have nuclear weapons, et cetera, et cetera. And then they endorse him anyway, even though they say that he's unfit. And now they're ignoring the fact that his behavior seems to be getting worse, as Bob Corker has pointed out, and that he's basically in adult daycare, and they're pretending as if everything is normal. I mean, this is, to me, again, it's a truly shocking and dismaying dereliction of their duty as our elected leaders.
You say in your piece that Stockholm Syndrome should now really be renamed Republican Syndrome.
Exactly. I mean, they've basically come to identify with their abuser. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And what you see now is that even supposedly mainstream, normal, moderate Republicans like Ed Gillespie in Virginia, who's a professional lobbyist, is basically sounding like a born-again Trumpian. I mean, excoriating his opponent for supposedly favoring immigration and defending Confederate monuments. The entire Republican Party is embracing this white nationalist populist agenda, which is anathema to everything that it has stood for many decades.
Well, let's listen to one Republican who isn't. This is Charlie Dent of Pennsylvania.
We've had too many of these emperor has no clothes moments. And I've said to my colleagues, it's important to state when you agree with the president, say publicly when you support him, but you shouldn't be afraid to check him when he moves in a bad direction or call him out if he does something that's inappropriate or offensive. We shouldn't be afraid to do that. And, I think people are afraid of their bases in too many cases.
And Max, that is considered heresy among most Republicans in Congress.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very cowardly group of lawmakers because they don't want to see happen to them what happened to Jeff Flake, where his approval ratings in Arizona plummeted. He got a primary challenger. They're all petrified of doing the same thing, and so they're allowing Trump to basically get away with murder, and that, I think is something that history will look upon very poorly.
Max Booth gets tonight's last word. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.